Hello, third graders. It is April 15th. It is Wednesday, and we are going to complete our review and complete our math test today. So we're going to start with number 10 in your math workbook, and this is the review portion of it. So it says, use the data in the table to complete the pictograph and bar graph. So here is, let me get my tools. So here's our information right here in our t-shirt sales. So you can see that there are 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. And when they sold the t-shirts, they sold 40 smalls, 70 mediums, and 50 large t-shirts. So we need to put that data into, let's start with the pictograph. So t-shirt sales, we have small, medium, large, and we need to come up with a key for t-shirt sales. And since all of these are divisible, or all of these are multiples of 10, I'm going to do a circle. So one circle, it's a little squarish, sorry about that. One circle equals 10 t-shirts. Because with the space that they gave us right here, we don't have room to draw 40 small t-shirts or 70 70 circles to represent the 70 shirts. So instead we're going to use circles. So since there's 40 small t-shirts, we just do 4 circles because 10, 20, 30, 40. Medium is 70, so we do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And the last one is 50 large t-shirts, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that is your pictograph. The next one that they want us to solve is to use the same information to fill out this bar graph. So we need to make a title. And I'm gonna switch my color to blue. This is gonna be called T-shirt sales. So bar graphs need to have a title. T-shirt sales. Bar graphs also need to have the different axes labeled. So this is number of t-shirts sold. So number sold. And it's a little messy, sorry. And on the side over here, these are the sizes of t-shirts, so it's different sizes. So we have small, medium, and large. And you can abbreviate those just like I did. So our next step is to show a bar graph to represent these sizes. Oops, I forgot to label the numbers. So remember, this one represents 0. This next one represents 10, 20, this is going to be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and this last mark will represent 80. Even though we don't have 80 t-shirts, it still represents 80. So our first bar is going to be for size small, and 40 t-shirts were sold in size small. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Go ahead and fill that in. Okay, I'm gonna get fancy on you guys. Here we go. Medium, I'm gonna make 70. So here's my 70 mark. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Here's my next bar. So 70 t-shirts were sold in size medium. And let's do yellow for large. So with large, they said 50 t-shirts were sold. So again, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 t-shirts were sold. So there's my bar graph showing how many t-shirts were sold. The next part of question number 10 says to which graph would you choose to show the data? Why? So you did both of them, but now they're asking you which of these graphs do you prefer? So you can write down whatever works best for you. For me personally, I like the bar graph. And I'm going to write my reason why. because it says Y. Bar graph because the bars are easier for me to draw and read. So hopefully you can write a little neater than I am right here. My stylus doesn't allow me to write as neat as I like to. So, okay. So here we go. Let's go with number 11. It says, write the start time or end time to complete the chart. So we have start time, elapsed time, end time. Notice you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 possible answers, but only 1, 2, 3 possible answers. So they gave you some answers that are not correct. So pay attention to that. Also pay attention to AM and PM, because you can see some of them have AM and some of them have PM. So we have to kind of pay attention to that too. So the first one, they're saying that, let's just say school started at 8:15 and 38 minutes passed. What would that end time be? So I know we've talked about using adding for this one. So anytime you know the start time, you should add. So 8:15, okay, plus 38 minutes. So if we add that up, 5 plus 8 is 13. And 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5, and it's still the 8 o'clock hour, so 8:53. So does that make sense? Ask yourself, if we started something at 8:15 a.m. and 38 minutes went by, does it make sense that it would be 8:53 a.m.? Yes, that would make sense. Okay, so we're going to write 8:53 a.m. Okay, let's look at the second one. Now we don't have a start time. We know the elapsed time, and we know that it ended at 4:20. So I'm going to erase because I need some more space for solving that one. Okay, so for this one, when you don't know the start time, but you know the elapsed and the end time, it's best to subtract. So we know that 4:20 is the end time, and we know that okay, I'm going to erase that. That looks really messy. I'm going to get us just a little bit more room. Okay, this might work a little bit better. So we know the end time is 4:20. I said if we don't know the start time, we can subtract. So 4:20, take away 55 minutes. So 0 minus 5, we can't do it, so we have to go next door. 2 minus 5, can't do it, have to go next door. So we're going to go to the 4 o'clock hour and make it into the 3 o'clock hour. So we just took away 1 hour, which is the same as 60 minutes. So we're going to add 60 minutes to this 2 and make it an 8, because 2 plus 6 is 8. Okay, and we still can't subtract in this ones place right here. So 0 minus 5, can't do it, so we go next door, and we're going to ungroup this 8 into a 7, and now we can make that 0 into a 10. So now we can subtract 10 minutes from 5 minutes is 5. 7 minutes, now I'm in the tens place, 7 take away 5 is 2. And bring down the hours, 3:25. Now, does that make sense? When you think about something ending at 4:20, does it make sense for it to start at 3:25? It does. It makes sense. So 3:25, and we're still talking AM. Okay, so the last one, we know the start time, we know the elapsed time, but we don't know the end time. So that tells us we should add. I'm going to do this one in green. And I'm going to erase this work right here. You know what? Maybe I'll pause the video here so that you can take a look at that. So I'll just wait a moment. Okay, so I'm going to erase this part right here. I'm going to try to anyway. I don't know if it's letting me. Okay, now I figured it out. I'm still learning how to do all this, third graders. Okay, so let's solve the last one. The start time is 10:45, then 2 hours and 25 minutes goes by. So if we start at 10:45 and 2 hours and 25 minutes goes by, let's go ahead and add that up. Ones place, 5 plus 5 equals 10. 1 plus 4 plus 2, that equals 7. And then let's add our hours. 10 o'clock plus 2 more hours would be 12 o'clock. But now let's look at this 7 right here, okay? We can't have a time that's 12:70. So really what we have to do is we have to take that 1 hour out of there. So if we take out 60 minutes from that 70, we get 10 minutes. Well, what can we do with that 1 hour? Well, if it's in the 12 o'clock hour, what's 1 hour more than 12 o'clock? It's the 1 o'clock hour. So now the new time is 1:10 right here, 1:10. And it was AM, but because we went past the 12 o'clock noon hour, now we're into PM. So the answer is 1:10 PM. If you solved any of these another way, I think maybe some of you like to use a clock, some of you like to think about, for example, the last one we just did, 2 hours later than 10:45, well, 11:45, 12:45, and then you can add in the 25 minutes. All strategies that work for you are okay with me. On page 328, we are going to figure out this next problem, number 12. Diane has 5/4 meter of blue ribbon and 3/4 meter of red ribbon. Write a comparison. Which ribbon is longer? So the comparison is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to. So what I want you to do is to draw, let's start by drawing 2 circles for the 5/4. And we need 2 because the 5 is bigger, the numerator, the 5, is bigger than the denominator, the 4. And we have to make this into 4 equal parts. And because it's 5/4, we have to color in or shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that shows, that represents the blue ribbon. I'm just going to make a B for blue. Then we have to represent 3/4 meter of red ribbon, and this, let's pretend my circles are the same size. Now we're going to shade the 3 because 3 out of the 4 meters are red ribbon. So it's asking us, this is the red, it's asking us which one is longer. Well, we can see the blue ribbon is longer, and the comparison is the greater than less than. So 5/4 is greater than 3/4.